This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on The South Today, the National Party will likely support the expansion of Wanaka Airport if elected next year. Dunedin secondary school pupils prepare for this Friday's climate change march. And wagging tongues and tails signal happy hounds at Coronet Peak for the 45th Dog Derby race. Kia ora, good evening. I'm Simon Anderson. The National Party is unlikely to obstruct the expansion of Wanaka Airport if elected next year. That's according to party leader and former Transport Minister Simon Bridges, who visited Wanaka late last week.
Indication, announcement of what National will do in government.
Simon Bridges addresses the Wanaka community during his visit to the region last week. With tourist numbers set to grow, the Queenstown Airport Corporation has proposed turning Wanaka's small airport into one capable of landing passenger jets.
Reality is you've got huge numbers of tourists coming into this part of the world. It's a big part of how New Zealand makes a living. And so broadly speaking, whilst it's for the airport, it's for locals, I'm somewhat sympathetic to the case that's being made around an additional airport at Wanaka.
Bridges says the Resource Management Act and other planning laws protect locals, and he'd like to see local residents have the final say on any expansion.
I think though what does work best, whether it's ports for ships or whether it's airports for planes, is local communities and the airports making decisions in their own best interests.
He doesn't rule out the possibility of central government taking part in the decision-making process.
Look, I think never say never in terms of government getting involved in these sort of issues. You know, sometimes there is a case for a bit of pulling power, if you like, from the government saying, you know, we think you may be getting this wrong.
The proposal to have jet-capable airports in both Queenstown and Wanaka would mean about $400 million being spent on developing Wanaka Airport over 25 years. In Wanaka, The South Today.
The South's population is growing. Data from the 2018 census released today shows a growing population across both Otago and Southland. The Queenstown Lakes district is growing faster than anywhere else in New Zealand, increasing by nearly 7% per year since 2013. The South's two main centres had slower growth, with Dunedin at 1% and Invercargill at 2%. Elsewhere, Central Otago grew by an average of almost 4%, and Waitaki increased by almost 1.5%. Stats NZ says the overall population of New Zealand could reach 5 million by the end of next year. A number of South Island electorate boundaries will be altered as a result of the changing populations. Decades from now, images of school pupils marching through Dunedin's city streets calling for climate change action could well be seen as a defining moment in history. If the passion of these Logan Park High School pupils is anything to go by, they are likely to succeed.
Calling for climate change to be addressed by governments around the world. After organising a successful protest in March, these pupils from Logan Park High School have another one lined up for this Friday.
We're planning on having speeches, live music at the beginning, and then we're going to have booths around the Octagon with information about how people can get involved and hopefully more activities and things that will keep people engaged and just keep the conversation going, which is really our main aim.
Organiser Linnea Simmons says Friday's Strike for Climate March is not just for school pupils.
Teachers, workers, parents, grandparents, whānau, anyone who wants to come, who wants to learn more, who knows a lot and wants to keep the conversation going is welcome.
Simmons says they continue to get emails from people offering a hand, ranging from printing and putting up posters to providing spaces to hold meetings. As the movement grows, the number attending the rallies also increases.
Our biggest crowd was 1,500. I think maybe we're hoping for like 2,000 this time around, about that. We'll see on the day who shows up, but it's looking like it'll be big.
Friday's march leaves Logan Park at 11:30, with other students and public set to join at the dental school, arriving at the Octagon around midday. In Dunedin, the South Today.
A Dunedin firefighter says a man who woke to find his bedroom filled with smoke was lucky to escape. The fire, which broke out at a George Street house on Saturday evening, is believed to have started from the remnants of a bonfire on a balcony. Willowbank Station Officer Peter O'Shea says he's concerned there were no smoke alarms and that the man posted a message on the internet calling for help. The man sent a message saying, "Help, my room's on fire," and sent images of the smoke to his friends rather than calling 111 straight away. O'Shea describes the incident as daft and reckless behaviour. The man was taken to Dunedin Hospital but later discharged. Wagging tongues and tails signalled happy hounds as they dashed through the snow at Coronet Peak for the 45th Dog Derby race. Sunshine came to the party when around 80 dogs and their owners bolted down a freshly powdered mountain on Saturday.
Queenstown has gone to the dogs, and size doesn't matter. From Jack Russells to Labradors and Leonbergers, with many crossbreeds in between, taking part in the 45th annual Dog Derby race.
We've got two different courses, so we have a towny course which is more of a straight dash, and then we have the country course which relives the tradition of sending your heading dog back up the hill. So they have to run down the same, but then they've got to send their dogs back up around a pen, and that's where the challenge really begins.
Coronet Peak area boss Nigel Kerr says the event is well organised chaos, comparing it with a dog show, but just a very informal one.
I think it's the sheer confusion of man and pet generally trying to all go in the same direction. I mean, normally the dogs lead the race and then look for the owners, so they are handicapped, the dogs are handicapped by their owners, and some people even come up here to look at what breed they'd like next. You know, it's like a dog show, just not a very formal one.
Kerr says around 80 human and animal teams enter the competition, with townies darting downhill from the top of the Meadows Express chairlift. Running with his dog Moose on a lead, Invercargill man Triton Bain was nearly tripped by an unleashed dog, but recovered to slide home, claiming the $300 cash prize, ahead of several dogs who'd left their owners way behind.
Every dog's getting a collar, every dog's getting a lead, there's hats for the owners, there's dog beds, there's prizes, like cash prizes as well as pet store vouchers, and of course in the country section the first three get one of these, which is pretty much a useful must-have if you're on the hills.
Renee Morrison, her competitive canine gin of Makomai Station, won the country division, claiming the $500 prize. Hundreds of supporters watched as the owners and their pets caught the chairlift up the mountains before cheering them on from the ski area while the race was underway. The event has been held every year since 1974, originally the idea of local legend and ski field staffer Des Gavin. In Queenstown, the South Today.
Still to come on the South Today. The former Mosgiel RSA building is set to be sold, and we look at the strong connection between the fashion industries of Dunedin and Italy. See you after the break.
When it's time to say goodbye to your pet, Heaven Sent Pet Cremations are here to help you through this difficult experience. Call Heaven Sent Pet Cremations today for their care and guidance. Phone 489-2274.
You've seen us in the street, now find us online. Check out shopon.org.nz. We have all sorts of treasures, from retro and vintage clothing to antiques, homewares and accessories. New items added every week. We're open 24/7.
At Alex Campbell Menswear, we bring you the best value. We have bought a massive selection of moleskins, and we're passing on the savings to you. Buy one pair, save $25. Buy two, save $60, and we have a great deal on our knitwear. Look at it all, 25% off all our knitwear. And to go with the knitwear, what about a nice warm shirt? These are 25% off too. And while we're doing the 25% off, what about on the jackets? 25% off them as well.
Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
So check us out for massive savings this winter.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole Map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Garrador Dunedin, delivering quality, stylish garage doors in Dunedin for over 17 years. New doors, replacement doors and maintenance are all part of Garrador's quality service. Garrador Dunedin offers a full range of modern quality doors to suit any home. Come visit the team.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Step into Ross Cafe, located at Ross Home in North East Valley. We have a great range of hot and cold food, friendly service and a warm atmosphere that you are sure to enjoy. We look forward to serving you soon at Ross Cafe.
If you're suffering from sciatica, lower back pain, hips and pelvis and knees, this technique will work wonders for you. The energy flow is transmitting through the muscles. Come and see Sunny Chin.
Step into Shop on Carol and discover a shop full of treasures. We have a fantastic range of vintage and retro clothes, upmarket clothing labels, collectible items, beautiful jewellery, quality linen and the best range of vintage haberdashery.
No mai anō, welcome back. The Mosgiel RSA Bowling Club is in the process of being sold by tender. That was a key outcome from a meeting of about 200 club members yesterday. An unconfirmed report published on Facebook claims the sale of the property to an undisclosed buyer exceeded $1 million. Earlier, the RSA had proposed selling its main building, including club rooms and restaurant, and extending the building at the RSA Bowling Club. But last month, it was decided to also put the bowling club on the market. During the bowling club selling process, no tenders have been received for the main club building. Previous club chairman Peter Amiers says considerable thought will be given to possible options for that building's future. Dunedin's fashion industry has connections with some of the world's major players on the fashion stage, including Milan. The ties between Italy and Dunedin go back to the late 1990s, when Margot Barton was invited to the Mittel Moda event, and the connection has now come full circle.
From Dunedin to Italy and now back again. Many years ago, Dunedin fashion identity Margot Barton was invited to show work at Mittel Moda in Italy, which she says was an inspiring event leading to one of Dunedin's most colourful regular events.
Well, Emerging Designers developed because of a relationship that we had with that we still have with an Italian fashion competition called Mittel Moda. It was in 1998 that they sent the Polytechnic an invite to be part of it, and myself and colleague Andrea Bentley decided that we would join because we were frightened if nobody applied, they wouldn't ask us again. And then we were gobsmacked when we were selected as finalists.
She says seeing the humble size of the host village led her to believe something similar could be done right here in Dunedin.
When we got there to this little town called Gorizia, and it's very small, it looked like about the same size as Oamaru, and had this huge, fantastic fashion parade with designers from all around the world. I stopped and I thought, hold on, we could do that in Dunedin.
Professor Barton says she brought the idea back, presented it to the group behind ID Dunedin, and the rest, as they say, is history.
So I came back to Dunedin and suggested that at an ID AGM, and all of a sudden I was on the committee And then that was 1998, and then in 2005 we had our first show.
Fashion is a family affair for the now co-chair of Dunedin ID Fashion Week. Her daughter, Ella Barton Buchanan, seen here on a recent trip home, has now returned to work in Europe and filmed these images at this year's Mittelmode last week.
Yes, well, she happened to be in Milan and Stefano asked her to come along to the show. So Stefano Sapelza is one of the event managers, and so she was very lucky to get along and see the latest edition of Mittelmode.
Ties which Professor Barton forged more than 20 years ago are being carried on by her daughter Ella, including with Stefano Sapelza, who Professor Barton hopes might return for next year's ID Dunedin 2020.
A lot of your viewers may remember him as a very gregarious Italian Irish person wearing a kilt made by one of our local kilt makers, Grant Mayhe, and he's fantastic and a really great fan of ID Dunedin. He's been out quite a few times, and I hope that in the future we might get to see him out here again as a judge on the Emerging Designer Awards. We ask him every year, but he can't always come, so fingers crossed 2020 will be the year.
So far, ID 2020 is scheduled to be held during March. In Dunedin, the South Today.
Dunedin was once again pumping as thousands of fans poured into the city for Saturday night's Fleetwood Mac concert. Close to 30,000 fans packed the Forsyth Bar Stadium after filling the city's bars, restaurants and shops earlier in the day. It's expected the concert injected millions of dollars into the city's economy. Otago Chamber of Commerce Chief Executive Dougal McGowan says the positive experience should also ensure another marketing bump for the city on social media. He says when people have a good time in Dunedin, they share that experience with others. After the break on the South Today, one of the Dunedin walking tracks remains closed after last week's fire, and we look at the week's weather. Find out after the break.
Step into Op Shop on St Andrew and discover a place with plenty of bargains for yourself, your friends and the whole family. For a fabulous range of economy and upmarket clothing, accessories, books, shoes and more. Shop with us and support your community.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
When it's time to say goodbye to your pet, Heaven Sent Pet Cremations are here to help you through this difficult experience. Call Heaven Sent Pet Cremations today for their care and guidance. Phone 489 2274.
You've seen us in the street, now find us online. Check out shopon.org.nz. We have all sorts of treasures, from retro and vintage clothing to antiques, homewares and accessories. New items added every week. We're open 24/7.
If you're suffering from sciatica, lower back pain, hips and pelvis and knees, this technique will work wonders for you. The energy flow is transmitting through the muscles. Come and see Sunny Chill.
Garrador Dunedin, delivering quality, stylish garage doors in Dunedin for over 17 years. New doors, replacement doors and maintenance are all part of Garrador's quality service. Garrador Dunedin offers a full range of modern quality doors to suit any home. Come visit the team.
Step into Ross Cafe, located at Ross Home in North East Valley. We have a great range of hot and cold food, friendly service and a warm atmosphere that you are sure to enjoy. We look forward to serving you soon at Ross Cafe.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole Map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Step into Shop on Carrot and discover a shop full of treasures. We have a fantastic range of vintage and retro clothes, upmarket clothing labels, collectible items, beautiful jewellery, quality linen and the best range of vintage haberdashery.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Thanks for staying with us. Dunedin's Pineapple Track may reopen next week once the blaze that swept across hectares of vegetation is officially declared out. The information supplied to the ODT channel and 39, to the ODT and Channel 39 on Friday saying the track had reopened is incorrect. The City Council says some tracks in the Flagstaff area will remain closed until the fire is declared officially out. 13 tracks remain closed, including Flagstaff, Ben Rudd's, Swampy Summit and Nichols Falls tracks. Fire and Emergency New Zealand says they're still waiting for some rain, which they hope will fall this week. Police are calling on the public for information as they investigate the suspicious fire. And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. Speaking in Wanaka recently, National Party leader Simon Bridges says they'll support the expansion of Wanaka Airport if elected next year. Dunedin's secondary school pupils are preparing for this Friday's Climate Change March, making banners and more ahead of their walk to the Octagon. And wagging tongues and tails signalled happy hounds and paws at Coronet Peak for the 45th Dog Derby race at the weekend. Now for a look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT, we welcome Craig Page. Kia ora, Craig.
Good evening. Some good news. Suddenly the Dunedin mayoral elections burst into life. There's claims and counterclaims surfacing today of bullying and abusive behaviour between various candidates. It seems to be at the centre of it is Aaron Hawkins and Jim O'Malley, both current councillors, of course, and both vying for the top job. Aaron Hawkins apparently had a crack at O'Malley over suggestions that he said he would vote for Lee Vandervis if he couldn't vote for himself as mayor. So he's had a bit of a go over that. So O'Malley's responded and accused Hawkins of blocking and sabotaging his attempts over the last 3 years of doing positive things on the council. That's created a flurry of responses from councillors and various other people around the city, siding with O'Malley and Hawkins. But it's really got quite nasty, and we've still got less than 3 weeks to go. So it's be interesting to see where this goes. We had an informal poll over the weekend at the ODT, and that kind of indicated it was a two-horse race, although I do stress it's very informal, but suggesting Lee Vandervis and Aaron Hawkins would be the two favoured candidates. So maybe it's time they've all decided to up the ante and get their profile out there. Good media stuff anyway, it's good to get in the paper. On our travel section, we're off to the Bay of Islands with our features writer Bruce Munro for some late winter rest and recreation. And also some street food markets in Taiwan, we visit those as well, so some interesting reading there. On the sport front, a bit quieter on the World Cup during the week, just one match a day. But a lovely story tomorrow on former Highlanders captain Nasi Manu, who took the field last night for Tonga against England. It's been a remarkable comeback for him, of course, diagnosed with testicular cancer about a year or so ago, emergency surgery, months of recuperation, and finally got back on a rugby field. So he was quite emotional about it all, and he holds a special place in the heart down here, of course. Captain of that 2015, or co-captain of the 2015 side that won the title. So, that's right. Yeah, nice story, well worth a read.
Great.
That's us.
That's brilliant.
Thank you.
Now let's take a look at the weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by Mole Map.
Beginning with the southern view, a warm spring day in the Octagon. Looking at the situation, a changeable week ahead as southwesterly airflow dominates, with several cold fronts expected to arrive with periods of strong, cold winds and showers. Starting off at the northwest of the South Island, Greymouth and Westport can expect showers and 12 degrees. Across to the northeast, where Nelson and Blenheim are due for cloudy skies and 16 degrees. Moving down to Canterbury, Kaikoura, you're set to be cloudy and 13. Christchurch and Ashburton, you're due for a few showers and 13 degrees. Looking at what's in store for the southern towns, you can all expect fresh southwesterlies and showers. The Catlins and Balclutha head for 10, while Gore and Lumsden should reach 9. Travelling westwards to the Central Lakes region, expect moderate southwesterlies and some cloud, with showers for some in the area. Queenstown and Wanaka should get to 10, and Alexandra heads for 11. Te Anau should only get to 9 degrees, with showers for you. Up to the northern towns, Timaru and Oamaru can look forward to light to moderate southwesterlies, Timaru 14, Oamaru 13. Further inland, Twizel and Omarama are in for moderate southwesterlies, a risk of showers, and a high of 11 degrees. In Dunedin, fine and cold tonight with an overnight low of 3 degrees. Sunny and cool tomorrow with breezy southwest winds slowly decreasing, planned for a high of 12 and a low of 4. Cloudy on Wednesday with showers developing and strong, cold southwesterly winds, a high of 9 and a low of 3. And in Invercargill, cloudy and cold tonight with an overnight low of 5. Cloudy with showers tomorrow and fresh to strong, cold southwesterlies, a high of 9 and an overnight low of 4. More showers and gusty, cold southwesterlies on Wednesday, a high of 8 and an overnight low of 4. That's the news this Monday. For the latest news from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz and follow Channel 39 on Facebook and YouTube. Have a great evening and week. Ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.